Hello everyone, we are back again and the talk of the day is Hustler Fund. Everywhere, everybody is very happy with the launching of the Hustler Fund. Everybody is congratulating the president for the good work that he has done, for the promises that he had promised to have been fulfilled today. But before you celebrate, before you do anything, make sure that you weigh on both sides, the positive and the negative sides of this launching. And before I continue, maybe we are all hustlers, we are all Kenyans, we don't know, but we are just hustlers waiting to benefit from this Hustler Fund, because whenever it have been put across or whenever a project have been launched, all as Kenyan citizens are the beneficiaries, whether you are in the other political parties, whether you supported, whether you did not vote, we are all here waiting to benefit. But we should weigh and we should be very much careful when we are applying, when we are rejoicing for this project that have been launched today. And just to take you through the benefits of these Hustler Funds that our Excellency has highlighted today, we have one of the biggest benefits today is that he has fulfilled the promises, one of the big promises that he had promised during his campaigns, rallies. It is to provide the funds that will enable the Kenyans to live and to have a better living standard, good life, and at least to boost their economic status. And for us, we don't have any problem with the launching of the Hustler Funds because the promise has finally been fulfilled. And another importance of launching of this Hustler Fund is the government is aspiring to improve the savings of the nation. This is because His Excellency President William Ruto said they are expecting to save up to 30 billion Kenya shillings per year. And this is approximated when at least 5 million Kenyans will invest rapidly and fluently if they can borrow the loan and repay back in time. And therefore, they are having another target of improving the savings of the nation at large. Leave alone you as an individual. We are talking about the savings of the nation. And maybe another importance of this fund, they say about creation of employment among the youths, whereby they are estimating more than 250,000 of the youths will be enabled to have self-employment and invest on their own. Furthermore, this fund is being aspired to boost the small-scale businessmen and women that have already started their businesses. And this is also to improve the living standards of the peoples of Kenya and to boost their economy. And maybe if we can look at another benefit of this Hustler Fund, it is to unite Kenyans all over the nation, regardless of your political parties, political differences, influence, places. Whether you like it or not, these funds will bring all Kenyans together, since everybody is planning to benefit from this Hustlers Fund. And to be more specific about all these advantages, importances, benefits, or the good or the sweet part of Hustlers Fund, we still have the dark side of these funds that have been launched today. For example, Have you read and understood the terms and conditions that have been stipulated for you to comply in order for you to continue with the borrowing of these funds? We have been given a limit of 14 days in repaying of the borrowed money, and this money is strictly paid in 14 days. Guess what? 14 days is only 2 weeks. Even if you have a serious business and you have maybe borrowed a certain amount of money and you have invested in your business, are you sure after 14 days you could have already find your profit? You've already in a position to maybe pay back the loan, or you are in a position to continue with that circle of borrowing the hustler fund? And something that is very sad about this again, if you can overstay with the loan so that the payment date is beyond the expected day or deadline, you are not eligible of accessing the loan in 30 days. And this can also put you in a risk of increasing your payment rates to 9.5% per annum. On my side, I really doubt if Kenyans will be able to use this money in the period of 2 weeks and repay in 2 weeks and continue borrowing. So it means that in 1 month, that is 28 to 30 days or 31 days, you borrow twice and you make sure you pay within the due time. This is a very difficult thing to understand, and this is a very difficult thing to do. Measuring on the youths that qualify to borrow this loan, you should have your national ID and be above 18 years to 35 years. Most of these youth do not have employment. Maybe factors motivating the youths to borrow the loan, it is because of daily expenses, daily expenditure like food, fare, and other things. How can you replace the borrowed money in 14 days if you borrowed the money to buy food, not even to start a business? Surely, is that possible? That one is impossible. Then another question. Kenyans are poor in paying the loans. For instance, most of the people, they are in CRB and they don't pay loans. The payment record is very poor and we are known for that. Surely, will they repay even if it is being lended at a very, very low interest of 0.02% per day? Will they pay this money? But they insist that the money is not given for free. Will they pay? And another question that is very, very serious about this, is this hustler fund a long-lasting solution to curb the economic state of people of Kenya or the living standards of people of Kenya? Is it a short-term one? Let's say, for example, considering the years that the Excellency President William Ruto will be on presidential seat, let's say the funds will be able to run and benefit the people who have been loyal to borrowing and repaying back. What about when he goes home? What about when people default the repayment terms and conditions? Will this continue? And if the government is having a target of collecting up to 30 billion shillings per year, and the payment is strictly 14 days, with all these things that are raising a lot of questions, will this be a long-lasting solution to the youths of Kenya, or it is just a method of making us happy that the promises have been fulfilled in only less than 100 days that the president is in his office. We should put all these things in consideration, because we can be very happy for today, but we can cry for the rest of the days, because maybe when you start borrowing and repaying, a burden can arise whereby you've used the money, you cannot repay in time, and therefore you lose a chance, or you lose your limit of standing to borrow another loan. And therefore I see this as a trap, whereby Kenyans have been trapped because of their pressure to see the promises that the president had promised. And this pressure has made him to launch the funds today, but I wish it could be a long-lasting solution, but it is really not believable that it will be a long-lasting solution. And if we can see the living standards of Kenya right now, everything is expensive. It have risen. The price of fuel, the price of food, and again we are expecting the school fees to raise from next year. So with all these factors that are hindering Kenyans from growing economically, from surviving in their daily lives, will they be able to pay these loans in 14 days? And will they be able to borrow the loans so that they can use for the purpose of business growth, creation of employment, or this loan will help them from hand to mouth, whereby they borrow the loan, they buy food, they eat, they forget they must invest. You people, are you really seeing what I'm trying to mean? Considering the living standards, this loan payment and lending, it can end up in a loose end, where many Kenyans can be people who can continue with their bad history in repaying these loans. And maybe this hustler fund is a way of motivating the Kenyans to work extra hard in terms of economic production. For instance, the Hustler Nation have a plan of increasing the rate of tax payment, and they are intending to collect a lot of money through tax collection. And bearing in mind that you have borrowed the Hustler Fund money, and you have to pay in a period of 14 days strictly, this Hustler Fund is going to make Kenyans to work extra hard day and night, whether it is in business, whether it is in farming, whether it is in every way, in order for that money to be paid and to pay tax at the same time. And this rushing of payment of the tax and payment of the Hustler funds will put a lot of Kenyans in pressure, and I don't think they are ready to withstand this pressure that they will be receiving from the government. And for the reality, or to be more specific on what is happening, most of the Kenyans are spending a lot of their money on buying the foods, in paying school fees, considering that the school fees will rise from next year, daily bills like fuel, electricity, and many other things, hospital bills. I don't think if in 14 days this money will be so beneficial to a normal mwananchi, the so-called hustler, and benefit from this money in a period of 14 days strictly. For my side, I see it is a lot of pressure being exerted to a Kenyan who will be running up and down to pay the tax, to pay the fund, and at the same time to run the normal life, buying food, paying school fees, and other bills. And for me, this is not going to be possible. I don't know about your side. Maybe to have your opinions, send me your comments on your take about these hustler funds, and just to ask, have you dialed *254# to confirm if you qualify or you are eligible of borrowing the Hustler Fund? And remember, you will pay in a period of strictly 14 days. Thank you for watching.